Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend despite the weather. I'm welcome back to another episode of Living Lives, and today I have with me John Pica-Sneeden, who has been the owner and designer of Surrounding Floral in Broadbrook since 1987. And John is a former member and board chairman of the East Windsor Board of Education, and also a board of director member at the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education, the Capital Education Council, the East Windsor Economic Development Commission, and president of the East Windsor Chamber of Commerce, and one of the founders of the East Windsor Education Foundation. John has honed his leadership skills and strategic planning skills. He brings all of these skills to being the executive director at the Greater Connecticut Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. So I would like to welcome John to the broadcast. Hey, John, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Wayne?
Good. And this sounds good. And we had some technical difficulties a little bit earlier, but the sound's coming through good now. So that's we should be good to go.
Excellent.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. I know, this show is really all about, my brand is Adventures and Connections. So we're all about connections and the connections we make with each other and with ourselves. And you, being the executive director at the chamber, make lots of connections. I know you've helped me out a lot. And I just want to talk a little bit about, the chamber and what it does and who it services and how we can connect through that.
Excellent. Well, first, happy Pride Month.
Yes.
We start our month of Pride and being proud of who we are. And I thank you for having me on this afternoon. What's there to say about a Chamber of Commerce? I mean, anybody that knows what a Chamber of Commerce does, it's a business organization that brings people together, business people together to network. The Connecticut Gay and Lesbian Chamber is the only LGBTQ and allied chamber in the state of Connecticut. We are the only Chamber of Commerce that covers the whole state of Connecticut. So if you have a business and you belong to your local Chamber of Commerce, your town, your city, they focus just in that area where we focus across the state.
And I know I just joined a couple of months ago, and I've already met some really cool people, at some of the breakfast meetings, the virtual breakfast meetings.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to developing those relationships as we go forward and possibly even having some of them, as I've reached out to some of those members, to be guests on the show this month.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. I'm still going back and forth with them, so I don't want to mention any names, but it looks like we're going to hopefully have a couple more, especially during Pride Month. It's a great time to feature some of the lovely work that these people do for the community, our community, as well as the community as a whole, and supporting lots of different organizations throughout the state.
Yes. There's many organizations that are around the state, whether they're nonprofits, not-for-profits, and other businesses. And so when you have the opportunity to
get my lighting right.
When you have the opportunity to shop or to do business with the LGBTQ community, it just reinforces that they're a welcome to your neighborhood. They're a welcome to do business with, and that's what we encourage more so in the allied community, is to shop, with minorities, whether you're LGBTQ or Black or Hispanic, or different religions, or it doesn't really make any difference. A product is a product, regardless of who's selling it. Right. And that's what we also encourage.
And it's really helping the local businesses and the small business owners in general is really good, because it keeps your community vibrant.
Yes.
And absolutely. It's the big box stores are fine, but they're really not helping the little guys who are doing all the community work as well. Because a lot of these little businesses and um, mom and pop shops and are the ones that are supporting the little leagues and supporting the local thrift shop and everything like that as well. So it's nice to bring some of the business back local, and also to support the mom and pop shops and the small businesses and the equity, diversity, the diverse
Sure.
businesses as well.
It's funny because I myself, being the executive director, I'm always looking for corporate partners, and we are the CTGLC is affiliated with the NGLCC, which is the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber, and in fact, we're waiting for you to be certified as an LGBT business owner, and with that, a lot of the corporations, even here in the state of Connecticut, are more apt to go national and pay national tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and not contribute to the local economy. And the only two of our corporate partners right now, well, actually all of our corporate partners do that. But Travelers Insurance and Foxwoods, both are two corporate, and the Hartford Athletic, which is the soccer team, men's soccer team in Hartford. The Argos, all of those people, all of those corporations contribute to us, which is huge. It's huge. They're not going beyond and going to on the national level. Whereas you have major other companies here in Connecticut. I'm not going to mention anybody, but they don't. I've reached out to them. I've asked, to partner with us. And not that they don't want to be part of the LGBTQ community. It's just that they contribute the dollars to where it's going to hit the biggest bang for the buck, so to speak.
Right.
And that's being national. And I understand that. But the funny thing is that this country has been built on small business, built for small business. The corporations, and I'm going to get a little political, just a little bit. I usually don't, but they outsource all of their manufacturing. They outsource their phones, to all of the phone calls that you get. They're all from out of state or out of the country. And American people, that want to work or need to work, don't have that opportunity to work. So for me, as a chamber member and an executive, I always encourage people to shop local, work local, give to your community, regardless of what your background is. It's so important because we're the only ones that help and keep us surviving. When you look at the pandemic that we just got through, and that we're still going through and getting out of it at the other end, a lot of businesses had to close.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
I know my business, being a massage therapist, I was closed for months. So
you suffered for it.
Totally get that.
And so now that it's all opening, go and shop with your small within your community, down Main Street, just walk and pick up whatever that they're selling, because that's the way that America is going to come back. That's the way the United States will become stronger again, because we can't depend on politicians. We can't depend on the government at federal or state. We have to do it for ourselves and for our people. And I'm speaking, also for the LGBTQ community, that if we shop with each other and we're able to shop in an LGBT either owned business or an LGBT person, it supports our community. And one of the things that I also say when somebody becomes a member, like, Wayne became a member of the chamber, it's very important to put your logo near the CTGLC logo, because the logo for the CTGLC is recognized. If you
Mhm.
Google LGBT in Connecticut, we pop up.
Right.
So it's a very, very powerful acronym. So if you put your acronym or your logo next to ours, you're sending a message out to the LGBTQ community that you support the LGBTQ community. And
Right.
that's important. That's important in business. That's important in our community. It's important in relationships, building work relationships, building intimate relationships, however you want to define it.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's I definitely have the logo out there on my website, and I'm looking forward to being able to put the national one out once that
Yes,
certification finishes,
yes, that's
um,
wonderful.
which I think is hopefully going to be in the very near future. Um, Dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's, you know. But yeah, so it's I personally want to affiliate with that and be known as a you know an LGBTQ owned business.
Yeah,
So because I see the importance of that, and really connecting with my tribe, so to speak. So I made the conscious decision to do that starting this year,
yeah.
and have rebranded and all that kind of stuff, which people who've been listening have heard about. Or if you haven't, go back and check out my very first Living Lives back on March 22nd. That's when I talked about the whole branding process. So it's been an interesting journey, and I'm looking forward to working with both you and the other members in the chamber. And who knows, maybe I'll even get up and dance at the big dance off and dance competition in October. So
That
I just got to find a dance partner.
Well, this is live, isn't it?
Yes, it
You're gonna
is.
you're hitting people. It's so important. We talk about pride and this month, especially in June. We here in Connecticut have, as far as I know, and was pre-pandemic, 21 pride events, which meant that's in 21 areas, whether it was a big city like Hartford, New Haven, and Bridgeport, or New London. It was smaller community, or Middletown. The smaller communities like Bethel, like
Mhm.
Avon, West Hartford. These towns, found the importance in celebrating LGBTQ, and
Yes.
so they set aside, whether it's a day or a week or the month, for events. We have the Connecticut Film Festival, which is going on in the next week. Actually, no,
Next week, yeah.
this week I think it starts.
It was this like Thursday or something, I think, if I
I,
remember
yeah,
correctly.
I think it's the
Yeah.
third. It starts. All of that. You just have to Google any of these things, and they'll give you a list of events. There's so many. There's so many events.
And everybody's still working on, I know a lot of things got canceled last year, obviously,
Yeah,
and a lot of the in-person stuff is still, if it happened another couple months, might have happened, but now is still restricted. But a lot of the different celebrations are happening on a
yes,
smaller basis, or online,
yes,
in one way, shape, or form. So it's you can still support
yeah.
and work locally with these different groups.
Even Foxwoods has put aside, the whole month of June. They're doing Pride events throughout the whole
Mhm.
month of June. They started the drive-in last year during the pandemic, and during I'm not really sure. I'd have to look it up. But through the month of June, I think it's a Thursday night. Every Thursday night is going to be an LGBT movie. So
Okay.
whether it's The Birdcage or Love, Simon, or so, Foxwoods even saw the value in creating these pride events. And anybody that's I mean, let's face it, I'm a capitalist. I love money. I love making money. Um, and if anybody really has any kind of horse sense, About, I think it was 2017, 2018, the NGLCC did got the data on that $1.7 trillion of the US economy comes from LGBTQ people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't want a piece of that, then there's definitely something wrong with you.
Right.
If you're using your religious beliefs, which is perfectly fine, but and any other bigoted, or prejudicial, or, I'll be kind. Anything else that is going to deter you from having somebody spend their money in your store. We're lucky we don't have it too much here in Connecticut, but around the country, it can get very,
Yes.
very bad. Then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because making a cake for somebody else's festivities, but you don't do it because of religious belief, that doesn't make any sense to me. I like you said, Wayne, I've had my floral business now for 34, 35 years. Anybody that came in through my store when I had the retail stores, I welcomed.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a wedding, if it was a funeral, if it was a birthday, if it was a baby, I welcomed it and enjoyed their festivities, enjoyed their occasion. And I was lucky enough to just make it look pretty.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no reason you can't enjoy other people's celebrations,
Absolutely.
because that just makes life in general so much nicer when you celebrate with other people, their accomplishments and excitements and special occasions as well as your own.
Absolutely. And I when you have the opportunity to go to any of these pride events and look at the people and look at their faces and the enjoyment that they're sharing, you can't not enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot not be part of it. The colors of the rainbow were used for a reason, because it's multicolored and there's multi personalities, multi diversity, and at personified is in the flag.
Mm-hmm.
And and we're all part. And the other thing and I think I said this to you the other day, Wayne, when we were talking, the LGBT community, if you want to look at minorities, whether you're black or brown or religious, different kinds of religions, or male, female,
Mm-hmm.
them, they, he, she, we are the only minority that encompasses everyone. We are the only minority that encompasses every country on this earth. There is somebody somewhere in the depths of Africa, the depths of Siberia, the depths of Antarctic. Well, maybe not Antarctic.
You never know.
But there's always going to be somebody that's LGBTQ in this area. And we are the largest minority on this planet because we do include everyone.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that's definitely something to think about, because I hadn't actually thought about it that way. You look at it as yourself as a minority, but not one that it's inclusive of all the minorities. So
when you have these companies today, and again, I talk to a lot of them, when you have these companies that talk about diversity and inclusion, which tells me that, one, you didn't do it before. You started using words, and now you wanted to use the words, but the only group of people that has always been diverse and inclusive has been the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
Because we welcome everyone.
Yeah.
And I would like to say we don't judge, but I judge everyone, but that's in my nature.
Yeah. So it's in human nature, to judge, but you're also open to everyone. So
absolutely,
that's
absolutely.
that's the key.
Everyone that comes into my home, my husband, my everybody that comes into my home is welcomed. Unfortunately, they never want to leave, but they are welcome. They get fed. They get desserts because I love to bake, and they truly
I
feel
can be there at 6.
you're on. But I think that's really what it's about. It's about,
Yeah,
creating this world that everybody is welcome and everybody feels like they're home. And that's one of the problems we don't have and we have in this country, is that nobody, if you look at somebody and they're different than you are, that you think they're different. They're
right.
not. We're all human beings. We might be
Yeah.
different colors. We might love different people, but we're all the same.
Yes. And that's an excellent sentiment to wrap up this show with, because that's really what it's all about.
Right.
So I want to thank you for joining me and chatting about the chamber and chatting about connections and chatting about life. So I'm just going to wrap up the show. And if you hang out in the green room for a second, we can chat again a little bit.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye. Thanks, everybody, for joining me this morning. And I have some interesting guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. I don't want to actually announce the names until I have solidified which days they're coming on, but look for some fun over the next couple of weeks, and most of it Pride related. And I encourage you all to go out, make a connection, and live your best lives. Thanks, everybody, for joining me, and I'll see you next week.